All right, so today we're going to take a look at our next SAT lesson. We're looking at how to fix run-on sentences and how to fix fragment errors on the SAT. So now that we've learned our 10 sentence patterns, we're going to start using that as a way of understanding how a sentence is formed. And it'll also show us when we actually have an error in a sentence, when it's not a really complete sentence, when it's a run-on, when we put a comma in the wrong place. And so eventually we're going to come back to this same slide or slideshow rather a little later in our time together and talk about some stylish flair that we can add to our writings. But we've got to learn the basics first. And where our premise is, once we learn the rules, it's so hard to take this seriously as these guys are dancing. It's important for us to learn the rules first before we can break the rules. So we're going to focus first on learning the rules and being pretty good with the rules. So you have a little guided note sheet, which I encourage you to kind of pause the video, take some notes before we actually get into the activity with this. All right, so imagine you're typing. So imagine you're working on a writing, you're typing along as the ideas are naturally pouring out of your mind onto the page, and then one sentence flows right into the next flawlessly with a transitional word that would make your 6th grade English teacher so proud that as you round the corner into another eloquent idea and conclude with a confident period, you are gifted with a squiggly mark under your words. We've all had that happen. And we're thinking, wait a minute, what did I do? Something happened, because why did I just get this squiggly? So sometimes when we write, we don't think to stop our sentences and begin new ones. We just go and go and go, or we just don't know exactly how to join our sentences together. So sometimes what we think are sentences are not really complete ideas at all, which can be as upsetting as eating raw broccoli. So there you go. All right, so we end up making these run-on sentences and fragments. So our goal today is understanding what that is and how we fix it. So true, there are some basic rules of grammar that purists will want us to abide by with fixing run-on sentences and fragments. As I said, eventually there are some fun exceptions that I'm going to teach you, so we can use those occasionally. But we're not there yet, so we have to take the serious side first and focus on the rules first before we can get more fun. All right, so more of the Dwight side than the Michael side today. All right, so here's the classic run-on sentence. So follow along with your guided notes. Here we go. So we begin with a sentence that can stand alone. Purists are going to call this an independent clause. It's another name for a simple sentence. So if I say, Dwight bartered for a new teapot. Sweet. And then we slap another sentence to it without connecting it correctly. He used it as a neti pot for his sinuses. Okay, so there you go. There's a neti pot, or at least a teapot being used as a neti pot. So sometimes we attempt to bind them